Friday. It's 3 minutes past 11. A very good morning. Welcome to the Midday Show with me, Ifunaya, here on Lagos Talks 91.3. Fridays are, for some people, always the best because we start with an absolute bang, and I'm talking about the people's perspective, where we get to dissect and take a look at pertinent issues from your perspective. And as always, my unequivocal co-host, SEUN Kuti, is in the studio.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
SEUN, I haven't seen you since 2 weeks.
We saw a bit on live last week, but not like,
physical.
Touch me again, touch me more. Hey.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, guys, welcome to today's edition. And yes, we have a lot to talk about. 2 major topics today. We're going to be taking a look at the arrested looters, as we know what happened in Nigeria, not just Lagos, over the past few weeks, starting with the NSAS protest and the sudden and sad end of the NSAS protest on the 20th of October, with some of the protesters actually losing their lives and some getting injured at what we term the massacre of the unarmed protesters. And then we did see that there was a lot of looting happening in different parts of Nigeria, where some of the citizens found some warehouses that house the palliatives, the COVID-19 palliatives, which they expected to have been distributed during, the heart of COVID-19 in Nigeria, and that's especially when there was a lockdown nationwide. And of course, that particular conversation, we're going to be dissecting it because I believe the persecution of some has actually begun. And then we're going to talk about the social media bill. And this is riding off of certain things that we heard, quote and unquote, Honorable Desmond Elliott say during the State House of Assembly plenary, where he was speaking about how damaging social media has been, especially in the hands of the influencers, the quote-unquote motivational speakers. And we're going to be taking a look at what has been said afterwards, because he has released an apology. He has released a video as well. So we're going to be taking all these things one step at a time.
How to act to blockbuster in one day.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, now wow.
That's terrible.
Anyway, guy.
let's start off with the looters. I'm just going to shed a little bit of light on that because you might already know what's going on. So the looting happened last week. We did see a lot of people, in fact thousands of Nigerians, finding a warehouse. I'm not really sure how the information about the location of the palliatives went out to the general public.
It is the disgruntled politicians in the ruling party that they're sending it out to people. They sent me the address for the one in Ikeja.
They sent you the address?
They sent it to me.
Whoa.
Yeah, to see if I can mobilize the people to...
No.
It's not a bad thing. I mean, I wanted to, but then they
sent it to you.
They don't put enough army for the place.
Fantastic.
I drove past there to check.
Hey, you wanted to go check? Oh my gosh. Anyways,
I drove past there to check.
Before getting deeper
the amount of
into
army
that,
there, I guys will just say,
wow, so obviously they're already prepared.
But maybe if I talk to the army, like, because in the other videos,
so
army was loading their own truck. It's for everybody.
Wow. Okay, before getting into that, because I have a lot more questions to ask, especially about that.
This will have camcorder here. Don't let Fashola in this studio.
Hey!
Look at this one.
That definitely wasn't a shade.
If you see my people online, you need to see this camera. Look at this evidence here. Look at this. Look at this. Can somebody call Fashola? We have it.
I can't do. Anyways, before getting into that as well, yes, we did see this looting taking place in different parts of Nigeria in their thousands. And later on, we saw law enforcement swooping in to carry out their investigation to identify those who were involved in the looting, and they were able to arrest some people. As of 2 days ago, we did see that they arrested over 600 people and counting. And just recently, we did see that the Plateau State government began the prosecution of over 300 suspected looters and arsonists in the state. We've seen different videos, several videos from different media platforms of some of these suspected looters. A lot of them alleged suspected looters right there on the floor. And I wonder, is this a thing where you arrest suspects and then you just place them on the floor? Is that a Nigerian thing?
Yeah, and it's actually an abuse of the human rights of the suspects. Because they are innocent until proven guilty. but you decriminalize them
by putting them on trying to break their spirits,
showing them to the public in a criminalized position.
You're
already creating public
perception
about them. You know, which is going to, like, one way or the other, affect a fair trial.
Of course.
You know, so you know.
So
we have a lot of lawyers. I don't know. We don't have. My network is not strong enough. That strong. So in Plateau State, I don't know. But people in Plateau State that need legal help, you know, they can contact my organization, Nigeria Resistance, .org, through Facebook, Instagram, whatever. DM us, and we'll see if we can get, because there are a lot of lawyers helping right now. We're helping people out in Lagos too.
Of course. So Sharon, just as regards this story about the looters, I've seen that there are still people who are on the perspective or understand that these suspected or alleged looters ought to be prosecuted. But what are your thoughts, giving a country right now where the government is trying to, maintain law and order and is trying to ensure that the laws are being enforced, given a situation where, these suspected alleged looters saw that these palliatives that ought to have been distributed weren't distributed, and they went to do what they believe ought to have been done by taking what they believe is rightfully theirs, not necessarily seeing it as a criminal act. And so in a case where the government is still bent on, we have laws, we have rules, no sentiments attached, what do you think, given the situation where these people have been arrested, some of them are on trial at the moment, some they're still saying that their family don't even know where they are, their family don't even know that they were arrested, and they're still trying to figure out what exactly they did. Given this situation, Sean, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, first of all, let's not forget how Nigerian police operate investigation. It's not as if they actually investigate. They do what they call raids. People that fit the description. They just go to neighborhoods and just, whether you are involved or not, they pack everybody. This is the reason why our prisons are full, of awaiting trial suspects, alleged people people have been in prison 5 years, longer than the time that they would have served if they were found guilty of the crime they were even arrested for.
True.
And they have been in prison awaiting trial. There are more people awaiting trial in our prisons than actual prisoners. So that's why I wasn't surprised that there were attempted jailbreaks when because people are in there that have done nothing for years. They are the most people in the jail. Go and check any prison in Nigeria. Go and check the population of the prison. First of all, it's overpopulated. Then the amount of convicted prisoner can be maybe 400. Awaiting trial, 2005. Kilo day, and they think they can be there. So many people just go to court, poor people, right? Let me tell you what they do when they go to court. Because they know that if you don't say you are guilty, they'll remand you back to this jail. And you might not come out to court for 2 years.
Wow.
So many people just say that they are guilty and take the sentence. Because they are poor, they can't afford lawyers. So that's why we are putting out lawyers out there, to try and people have many lawyers that are going to the magistrate courts in Lagos.
Yeah.
I think it is the duty of all the lawyers in Nigeria, at least at this moment, to defend these people, to go out, to every court and at least give them they have the right to proper defense.
Of course.
So they're not just their lives are not just destroyed over some bag of rice. What we have in this country, people that are stealing billions of naira and nothing is done. I mean, they just convicted Kalu of corruption, only for them to tell us that the judge that convicted him is the wrong judge to sit on the case. So he has to go home a free man. I mean, so all this energy, that they are using towards the so-called looters,
exactly.
Where is the same energy when it is the elites that are doing the looting? In this country, over in 2008, there was the bank loan scandal, the so-called credit crunch, where all the big men in Nigeria that created AMCON, that they have to go and buy all their bad debts back. Everybody robbed the bank in this country, looted funds from all the banks. Erastus Akingbowola, where is he? Is he in jail? Nobody is in jail in that class. Everybody gets a slap on the wrist. They go home and they continue living there. Shubomi Balogun, what happened to him? Nothing. They just said, oh, okay, fine, leave the bank. Don't do banking again. Whereas millions of dollars gone. And what did they do? They use our own money, taxpayers' money, to defend these thefts. So, for example, Skybank now, before they finally went under, they first gave them 200 billion naira in 2019, 2018. They give them 200 billion. They say they were protecting the money of the depositors so the bank doesn't crash. So I ask, who is the depositor and who is the taxpayer? We are one and the same. You are a depositor, you are a taxpayer. They are using taxpayer money to defend depositor money, while the person that stole the money is free to go to his house and sleep. You know, but then we are shouting that some people are... See, no matter the violence that happened by the poor people of this country, first of all, we must classify it. There were people that raided because they were hungry. Then there were the political thugs, right, that the government sent out to actually create mayhem. And why did our government choose mayhem? Why did they choose the breaking of stores, the burning of government buildings? Why did they use that tactics after curfew? Because you have to remember that for over 10 days, there was protest, there was no curfew, there was no violence. The government called curfew, put the people in the house. Then suddenly, their own people were given the free hand to run riot all over town. You understand? Because many of the poor people in our neighborhoods will not destroy our neighborhoods. And as you can see, when the indigenes of the neighborhoods stood up to defend their neighborhoods, nothing happened in those neighborhoods. Ijora, for example. Not the Lagos Island Oba, that one was the people of Lagos Island. Don't let anybody lie to you that he's Igbo. They don't like him. It was a reckoning for him. It was a reckoning. Don't let anybody lie to you. You know, me, I have family from Mr. Leko. So it was a reckoning. They don't like him there. You know, and many of the police stations that were burnt, they killed people. It's not only in Lekki they killed people. Really, the DPO killed 2 people first before they went to burn the... Even in this Isaleko, Ebuteru that they burned the police station, they killed people. Well, after they buried the 2 people that they killed, on the way back from the burial, they touched the police station and went to the Oba's palace. Because him gone a former police, in case you have not forgotten. And it was one that apparently, they say it was one that called the DPO that came there and used violence to disperse the crowd. So for me, what point am I trying to make here? Why did the government send political thugs to destroy the property of the, you know?
Allegedly.
Why did the political thugs come out to destroy the property of the middle class? Because they know the middle class Nigerians, they put things over people. They've conditioned us. It's not because we don't know any better. We just think it's the right way to be. But it is not. So we put things over people. On the one side, we're saying people have died. There's somebody saying they burned my shop. I mean, what kind of argument is that? Somebody has lost their life. We need to put ourselves over things. This is the lesson we must learn from this, because the government of this country, they know, you know, the elites of this country, they know that once you affect the livelihood of the middle class Nigerian professional, he will turn his back on the people. I mean, what if my father did the same thing after they burnt his house and threw our grandma out of the window, burnt all his cars? What if fella said, I'm not fighting for the people again, no, they've destroyed my house? Okay,
Sheon, let me just ask you this. Because just you saying that, it seems like it's going to be like a catch-22 for business owners who have put blood, sweat and tears to be able to build their business. However, you're saying that, you know, in a state where maybe one of the tools or the weapons is to divide and conquer, they can create a detour, a distraction, by touching the lives or the livelihoods of those in the middle class, so that we stop talking about the people that have died and rather start talking about the businesses that have been looted.
Exactly. And they say the violence and all of that. So one of my, you know, one of the older celebrities that I respect, you know, was talking, and I said to him, you can't tell me whether it is right or wrong to loot or burn. This is not a right or wrong question. This is not the perspective that we must discuss it from. It is a cause and effect issue. You understand? This is a cause and effect issue. It is not a right or wrong issue. You understand? If these people were educated enough, for example, they know that we are not their enemy, that to some certain extent we are one. But we gone, what have we done? They don't have public education. We believe that private education will save us from ignorance until ignorance came to our front door. So what has this taught us? That aligning with the oppressor to send our children to private school as the solution to the educational problem of Nigeria will not save us or deliver us from the scourge of ignorance. You understand? So Nigerian professionals have to understand, and middle class, that it is through us that the oppressors get to the people, because we are the bankers that launder the money. We are the civil servants that make sure the country doesn't work. We are the oil workers that make sure that they don't get the dividend of their petrol. We are the teachers and lecturers and vice chancellors that destroy the university. We are the workers on the economic board. You understand? That make sure that proper education is inaccessible to poor Nigerians. We are the army. We are the police. We are at every level the instrument that the oppressor uses to oppress the poor people of this country. And when they go around destroying the livelihoods of the poor, they did it in the Gomu, the artist village, demolish all their property. We don't complain then that people's property are destroyed. They will go to Oturumagbe, destroy all the property there, chase out all the poor people. We don't say anything. It's business as usual. So when is it only our own property that matters? The property of the poor that we assist. We are the contractor that will go there with the bulldozer. We are the architects that will design the new area that they've stolen from the poor in this country. It's not as if they even compensate them. So what do we expect from all those things that we do? So we are the way that the oppressor get to the poor. So when the poor are going to come for the oppressor, they're going to come through us. There's no escaping that. The only way we can escape that is if we now change our allegiance. We now start aligning with the people. The people now become our allies. We come off our high horse. You understand? We look at our things that were burnt, our things that were destroyed, and say, okay, fine. We are sacrificing this for a better Nigeria, for a greater Nigeria, and we move. Because all of us, as this is one thing they don't teach us. So we forget that we are all children of sacrifice. That your shop you think you have. For you as an African man, in this Nigeria, in your own land, to have a shop in that area, somebody died, paid the blood price for that door to be open. None of us as African people, only us African people were never invited to the table of capitalism for anything. We were just commodity. For us to achieve anything in this system, somebody had to pay the blood price for you to go to school, to vote, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be a car, to drive a car, to marry your wife, to be a citizen in your own country. Somebody died. Not people, thousands of people died for that to happen. You are not self-made. We are not yet at Uhuru. Those people died and opened the door for us small to enter. So those of us that have entered now, we enter there and think it's by our own merit we are there. We forget what is happening outside.
Okay, sure.
We forget that our duty is not only to just sit down inside the room, but to bust that door wide open for the rest of our people to come inside.
Okay, so this is quite profound, and I believe it takes a certain level of enlightenment and awareness for people to come to this type of knowledge and understanding. In a situation where right now what people want is law and order, what is the way forward? And aside that, if people, because there are people that have outrightly said,
it is property owners that want law and order, and we are the minority.
So if, in the case where people want law and order, what are we doing moving forward? Because there are people that have said, and just listen, and this is from different conversations that we might have heard, or even people calling in to say, listen, I understand the situation that Nigeria is facing at the moment, but I don't want to be a hero. I'm just here trying to help my family and help my life. So in a situation where you're saying align with the people, yes, you've lost a lot, but people are still saying, yes, so we've lost a lot. We've lost what maybe our parents before us suffered for us to inherit, and now we've lost it because there are these thugs or political thugs that were unleashed, and they're like, I don't want to be a part of this. In as much as I'm in Nigeria, I've been able to, on my own and with my family, forge our way ahead, and now we're being roped into this because you're saying align with the people. You know, it's sacrifice that has to be given. What about people that don't want to make that sacrifice?
Well, the choice has been taken away from you. Right? The choice is no longer in your hand. You understand? Now the choice is being made for us by the ancestors. That this is a moment in history. You understand? Frantz Fanon says every generation out of relative obscurity must determine its purpose and then decide whether to fulfill or betray that purpose. We are at that point in this generation. We are at that crossroad. So it's our decision. Do we want to betray or fulfill? You know, we have the opportunity now to begin to not do the elite thing of expecting the poor people to come to us, but of actually building the bridge and going to the people, listening to the people. Like me, I always say to my friends, why do NRM members have to evangelize? Why do they have to always go and talk to people and go to these areas where people are not politically woke to give information? I said, you know, because it is important that we no longer expect the people to come to us. I, Sheun, for example, I might talk all day about how bad Nigerian transportation is, but I've never ever been inside Molue. I've never been inside Molue. So it's only somebody that has been inside Molue that can now really tell me how bad Nigerian transport is. You understand? So this is the conversation. We need to start that conversation. I wanted to start it before they did the curfew, you know, because I called it the power mic. And we're still going to do it now. We're going to start taking it to all the neighborhoods, you know. And basically, did you protest? Yeah. Why? Why is Nigeria? 2 minutes. Everybody, 2 minutes. Talk. We'll take drinks. We'll begin to build this bridge. Because Nigerian people must begin to organize now towards something different. You know, it's obvious.
Now, regarding the looters that have been arrested,
continue
at the moment, what happens to these people that the government? Because if you take a look at the reason or the rationale behind why these people were arrested, it is legal on the grounds of the constitutions and the laws that govern the land. It's legal because these individuals, they broke into the warehouses and they took the palliatives. Now, moving forward,
it is also illegal to hold those palliatives.
So what defense do we have against the government, or do these looters have against the government, especially if yes they were found guilty?
As long as we are trying to be punitive about this, it shows that the elite of Nigeria, even after everything that has happened these past 2-3 weeks, have not learned anything. This is not the time to be punitive. This is not the time to want to be the angry strong man and the Jagaban of Lagos. This is not the time for that. This is how I know that these people are not really interested in the development of this country, or really in the elevation of the poor people of this country. They are not interested, because this is the moment for us to self-reflect, not point fingers at poor people, to see what those with opportunities, those with the power, what we've done wrong to make our people like this. Look at people rushing food like animals. This is 2020. And don't tell me that it's only... See, go to England when their government, 7 years ago, there was massive looting all over London. George Floyd's death in America, didn't they touch the police building? They touched the police building in Portland. Looted all the stores. I mean, how do you want poor people to express themselves?
Anyways, we're going to take some calls right now.
We just have to understand that this is not the time to be punitive. It's the time to reflect and see that these people are like this because we have ignored them. We've separated them from their commonwealth. You know, the real problem is those people taking those things from them, that are not giving their children the opportunities to go to school. One woman actually said something that really touched my heart. It was so profound. It touched me so bad. She said she was elderly. She's definitely older than me. She was in her 50s. You know, she was there with a little boy. And she was doing an interview. She said her mother told her that she will make it. And her mother was working hard all her life till she died. And now she is here, earning 24,000 a month. Her son cannot go to school too. She cannot pay his school fees. You know, even in the public school, she cannot afford to send him. And she's looking at him. Is she going to be telling him, say, am I going to also tell him that he's going to make it tomorrow? That's why she was out to protest. So imagine what you people are doing to people. 24,000 naira a month. What is this?
Please subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Share this video. Subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends to subscribe to this channel. Subscribing to this channel is